London, 1400, a city that breathes through smoke and prayer. You step onto damp cobblestones slick with fog and ash. Above you, timber houses lean inward, their upper floors nearly touching, blocking the pale morning light. Water slides slowly through shallow gutters, carrying straw, soot, and refuse toward the Thames. The air smells of wood smoke, tallow candles, and wet wool. Somewhere nearby, a church bell tolls. London is awake, and it feels uneasy. You walk past shuttered doorways and narrow lanes where footsteps echo longer than they should. Merchants move quickly, clutching baskets and ledgers. Servants hurry with covered pails of water. No one lingers. Everyone remembers. Not the stories, but the feeling. Illness once hollowed these streets, and its memory still walks beside you. At the corner of a crooked alley, a baker lifts the shutters of his shop. Warm steam rolls into the cold air as he sets out loaves of dark rye bread. The smell draws quiet lines of people who count coins carefully before they step forward. Bread is survival. Prices rise without warning. Grain shipments arrive late, and families measure their meals by daylight. Hunger does not shout in London. It waits. Past the market, you pass timber-framed houses stacked tightly together. Their plaster walls are stained with smoke and age. Wooden signs creak gently above doorways, painted with animals, tools, and saints. Inside, rooms are dim and crowded. A brick hearth glows softly. Straw mattresses line the floor. Wool blankets hang from beams to dry. Children sit close to the fire. Mothers mend torn sleeves by candlelight. Fathers sharpen knives for the morning's work. Privacy is rare. Silence, even rarer. Every breath tastes faintly of ash. From the distant east, cathedral bells roll slowly across the city. Their sound moves like a low tide through streets and courtyards. Inside stone halls, incense drifts through shafts of pale light. Kneeling figures whisper prayers for healing, forgiveness, and safe winters. Some pray for bread. Some pray for mercy. Some pray for names that will not be spoken again. London's churches are full. So are its graveyards. You step back into the streets. Carts creak past, wheels groaning under sacks of grain and barrels of ale. Horses snort, their breath rising in white clouds. A man coughs behind you. No one turns. Everyone hears it. The Thames waits beyond the narrow lanes. Dark water slides past muddy banks crowded with barges and rope coils. Sailors shout over creaking rigging. Barrels of wool, timber, and salted fish are hauled ashore. The river smells thick and metallic. This is London's artery. Its wealth flows here. So does its sickness. You pause at the edge of the water. The city hums behind you, and the fog slowly thickens. Fog drifts low over the Thames, clinging to the water like a living skin. It softens the edges of ships, blurs the faces of sailors, and hides the far bank behind pale moving curtains. Ropes creak. Wood knocks against wood. Barrels roll across damp planks. The river never sleeps. It carries wool from the countryside, salt fish from the coast, wine from France, and rumors from every port it touches. And with every shipment comes news. Some good, some whispered, some that makes men lower their voices. You follow the river road westward, where taverns lean close to the water. Their signs swing slowly in the damp air, painted crowns, black boars, golden suns. Inside, low voices murmur beneath timber beams darkened by decades of smoke. Tankards clink. Dice roll quietly on scarred tables. Men talk of taxes, of distant wars, of sons sent away as apprentices. They also speak of sickness. Softly, because no one wants to be the first to say its name. Past the taverns, the street narrows again. The smell of tanned leather rises from workshops where hides hang stiff and pale. A cooper hammers iron hoops around oak barrels. A blacksmith strikes glowing metal, sparks leaping into the gloom. The rhythm of labor keeps the city breathing. Work is not comfort. Work is survival. A narrow alley opens into a small square where washerwomen bend over wooden tubs. Cold water slaps against cloth. Steam rises faintly in the morning chill. Children chase each other between hanging sheets. A woman scolds them sharply. Life goes on, even when fear never leaves. Not far away, the city wall rises, thick stone and timber guarding London's crowded heart. Its gates are watched by men in wool cloaks, halberds resting against their shoulders. Travelers queue quietly. Carts are inspected. Names are written in ledgers. The city is careful. It remembers what happens when it is not. Beyond the walls, fields stretch low and pale beneath the gray sky. Wind bends dry grasses and rattles bare branches. Here, the city's noise fades. But the road does not feel safe. Footsteps seem louder, and every passing rider is watched twice. You turn back toward the heart of London. Smoke curls from hundreds of chimneys, rising into the fog like thin black threads. Somewhere a bell rings again. The city is calling itself back together. You pass through a narrow lane where candles burn before a small wooden shrine. A woman kneels quietly, lips moving without sound. No one stops her. No one needs to ask what she is praying for. At a nearby corner, a cloth merchant lays out bolts of rough wool and finer dyed linen, deep blues, faded reds, pale creams. Customers run fingers across the fabric, weighing not just price, but winters. Warmth is wealth. A group of boys runs past you, laughing too loudly. Their boots splash through shallow puddles. For a moment, the city feels almost light. Almost. The bells roll again. Slower now. Longer, lower. You feel it in your chest before you hear it. Night is not far away, and London is already preparing. As afternoon fades, London begins to draw inward. Lanterns are unhooked from timber doorways and hung beneath darkened eaves. Wicks are trimmed carefully. Small flames tremble in the cooling air. The narrow lanes grow quieter, but more watchful. Footsteps echo longer between leaning houses. Every passing figure seems to listen. Near the Guildhall, clerks hurry across the square with sealed parchments tucked beneath their arms. Red wax stamps glint in fading light. Inside tall timber doors, merchants argue in measured voices. Debts are counted aloud. Agreements are sealed with careful hands. Apprentices stand stiffly beside their masters, eyes lowered, learning the weight of names and numbers. London runs on promises written in ink and wax, and on men who remember who owes whom. Along crooked lanes, doors close earlier than they once did. Buckets of gray water are poured into shallow gutters. A woman pulls her cloak tight before disappearing inside. Somewhere behind shuttered windows, a man coughs, once, then harder. No one looks. No one asks. By the river, taverns glow warmly in the dusk. Tankards thump against tables. Dice roll softly across scarred wood. Men speak of grain prices, of sons sent away as apprentices, of taxes that rise without warning. Beer warms cold hands, but every man leaves early, and every door closes firmly behind him. At the edge of a small graveyard, the ground rises unevenly. Wooden markers lean at tired angles, their carved names fading beneath damp air. Fresh earth is darker and softer. Someone has knelt there recently. A candle stub burns low near a simple marker. Before dawn, fog returns to the Thames. It drifts between masts and rope coils, wrapping ships in pale curtains. Lantern reflections stretch and break across black water. Bakers lift their shutters again. Warm air spills into the cold streets. Washerwomen kneel by the river, their hands red from the chill. They speak in short sentences about weather, prices, and doors that stayed closed too long. At a narrow crossing, a healer opens her small wooden stall. Bundles of dried herbs hang from beams overhead. People gather quietly. Some hide their faces. Some whisper names. She works slowly, carefully. Church doors open once more. Candles are relit. Low voices gather beneath stone arches. London begins another day, not with hope, but with persistence.